Enlil was left there. A secret to Enki to Enlil he did reveal. Then from the secret place Abgol departed. Enlil alone was there left. In Eden, son to Ninmah, her commander, words was speaking. By Enlil's seed am I pregnant. A child of Enlil in my womb has been conceived. Ninmah such words to Enki conveyed. The Lord of earth he was. On earth he was supreme. They summoned Sud before seven who judged. Will you take Enlil as your spouse? They her asked. Words of consent she uttered. The words of Abgol to Enlil in exile were conveyed. To espouse Sud, Enlil from his exile was returned. By that did Enki and Ninmah to him a pardon give. Enlil's official Sud was declared. On her the name, title, Enlil, Lady of Command. So she was pregnant, basically, is what she's saying. Therefore to Ninlil and Enlil a son was born, Nanar, a bright one, Ninlil him named. He was the first of the Anunnaki on earth to be conceived, one of Nibiru's royal seed on an alien planet to be born. It was after that Enki to Ninmah was speaking, come be with me to Abzu. In the midst of the Abzu, in the place of pure waters, an abode I have established. With a bright metal, silver is its name, it is embellished. With a deep blue stone, lapis lazuli is it adorned. Come, Ninmah, be with me, your adoration of Enlil abandon. Abandon your adoration to Enlil, is what you say. Excuse me. To the Abzu, to the abode of Enki, Ninmah then journeyed. Enki there to her words a loving spoke. Of how for each other intended sweet words to her he whispered. You are still my beloved, to her he said, caressing her. He embraced her, he kissed her. She caused his phallus to water. Enki his semen into the womb of Ninmah poured. Give me a son, give me a son, he cried out. She took the semen into her womb. The semen of Enki her impregnated. One day of Nibiru was the month of earth for her. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of Nibiru like months on earth they were. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 days of months were completed. The 9th count of motherhood was completed. Ninmah was to travail. To a child she gave birth. The newborn was a female. On the banks of the river in the Abzu, a daughter of Enki and Ninmah was born. Enki by the daughter was disappointed. Kiss the young one, to Ninmah said. Kiss the young one, Enki to his visor Isma said. A son I desired. A son by my half-sister I must have. Again he kissed Ninmah. By her loins he grabbed her. His semen into her womb he poured. Again she was with child. Again a daughter to Enki she bore. A son by you I must have. Enki to her cried out. Ninmah he kissed again. Thereupon Ninmah against Enki a cursing tittered. Whatever food he ate was poison in his innards. His jaw hurt, his tooth hurt, his ribs were hurting. It's basically saying she put a spell on him because he kept trying to get her pregnant as soon as she gave birth. So she put a spell on him to stop. That's what it says. Isima, the Anunnaki summoned. To Ninmah for relief they were pleading. To distance himself from Ninmah's vulva, Enki by raised arms swore. One by one she his ailments removed. From the curse Enki was freed. To the Eden in return, never to be espoused. Anu's command was fulfilled. To earth Enki his spouse Demkina with the son of Murdoch summoned. Ninki, lady of earth, the title she was granted. By her and by concubines Enki 5 more sons had. These were their names: Nergal, Gibel, Ninagal, and Ninjazita, and Dumuzi, the youngest. Ningazita we find out it turns out to be thoughts later on. So by her and by concubines, Enki 5 more sons had. To earth Enlil and Ninmah their son Ninurta summoned. By his spouse Enlil did Enlil 1 more son have. To Nanai a full brother, Ishkar was his name. 3 sons in all did Enlil have. None by concubines were they born. 2 clans were thus on earth established. The rivalries to wars did lead. Now this is the account of the mutiny of the Gigi. Now how Anzu to death was put for stealing the tablets of destinies punished. From the Abzu gold from the earth vein to the landing place was carried. Thence the Gigi and rocket ships to the way station on Lamu transported. From the planet Lamu the celestial chariots was the precious metals Nibiru brought. When Nibiru was the gold to the finest dust fashioned, to protect the atmosphere it was employed. Slowly was the breach in the heavens healing, slowly was Nibiru saved. In Eden the 5 cities were perfected, Enki and Iridu a sparkling abode made. Upon soil upward raised he built it, like a mountain he raised it above the ground. In a good place he built it. Damkina his spouse there dwelt. To his son Murdoch Enki was their wisdom teaching. In Nibiru Ki Enlil the bond heaven earth was established. A sight see it was. He's talking about the Stargate. At its center was a heavenward tall pillar. The sky itself was reaching. On a platform that could not be overturned it was placed. Therefore by the words of Enlil all settlements encompassed. By Lamu and Nibiru they were heard. From the beams were raised. The heart of all lands they could search. Its eyes could scan all the lands. Its net unwanted approach impossible made. In its lofty house a crown-like chamber was the center. To distance heavens his peer. Towards the horizon was his gaze. Its heavenly zenith it perfected. In its dark hollow chamber by 12 emblems was the family of the sun marked. On M.E.s were the secret formulas of the sun and the moon, Nibiru and earth, and the celestial gods recorded. Now see right there it says, and then it says the tablets of destinies in the chambers their hues emitted. It says on M.E.s were the secret formulas of sun and moon, Nibiru and earth, and 8 celestial gods recorded. So basically these M.E.s contain all the hermetic and astrological sciences that are known to them. It's how I see it. It's all their knowledge. And later on we find out that M.E.s is mitochondrial DNA. So basically all the information in our DNA contains all that is all embedded together, because the MEs are what they use for the mitochondrial extraction for humans. It comes out later that that's what the MEs are, and it says it has the secret formulas for the sun and the moon, Nibiru and earth, which in the Bible it calls heaven and earth, and 8 celestial gods recorded. So basically it has all the knowledge that they have in these. I'm thinking it's some kind of light crystal format or something. I don't know. It's probably just a tiny little microscopic piece of DNA with all this information, would be my guess, in a bigger container. The tablets of destinies in a chamber of their hues emitted, and it's my opinion that the tablets of destinies are very similar to what the information. Not the historic, but the scientific information that's in the emerald tablets. With them Enlil all comings and goings oversaw. On earth and Anunnaki toil. On work to sustenance they were complained. By earth's quick cycles they were disturbed. Of the elixir they only small rations were given. And Eden and Anunnaki toiled. In the absence the work was more backbreaking. By teams were Anunnaki sent back to Nibiru. By teams new ones were arriving. The Igigi on Lamu dwelling were the loudest in complaining. When from Lamu to earth they descended, a rest place on earth they were demanding. With Anu did Enlil and Enki's worship stage, the king they consulted. Let the leader come to earth, let Anzu be discussion. So did Anu say to them. Anzu to earth from the heavens descended, the words of complaints of Enlil and Enki he delivered. Let Anzu of the workings gain understanding, Enki and Enlil were saying.